Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and I'm back with part 22 of What If Naruto Had the 6-Eye Sharingan. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was neglected and broken and became a daimyo, and enjoy that guys. And also, what if Naruto accidentally killed Santa Claus and gain his abilities over an anime king as well? And a new movie over Anime Prince guys. Stay tuned for those, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post, because I do post a hell of a lot. So without further ado or waste no more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So the last time we left off, Tsunade was not happy. In fact, she was furious. Twice now Kano has been attacked, and in the second attack, Mito was taken. There was nothing that they could do against the overwhelming force of Madara Uchiha, and Mito was taken away from the village. She was angry. Nothing she could do could find the girl right now. They had no idea where Madara went. However, her worries were not too bad, as a portal opened up in her office. All of her envus were frozen to the touch the moment he stepped inside, followed by Sasuke. Tsunade was able to witness the Sharingan inside of Sasuke's eye sockets. She would not even question that at the moment, as Naruto was here to find Mito. He heard that she was kidnapped. Tsunade could see it, although it might seem like he was going after the tail beasts, but he truly cared about Mito. He was worried about her, as Naruto was able to use the remnants of Madara's chakra that he used in Konoha and sense it all over the globe. It was a rather shocking feat that Tsunade never expected, but he was able to do it. It was due to those eyes of his, those incredible, powerful eyes of his. With that out of the way, Naruto started to walk away as he opened a portal. Sasuke jumped through, as Tsunade told him that he could not win on his own. He needed help to rescue Mito. This was Madara Uchiha, a great man that's said to possess power that rivaled her grandfather, and her grandfather was the god of shinobi, the strongest of all. However, Naruto turned towards her and told her that there was nothing to worry about, because he will win. With that he left. The moment he did, her envus returned back to normal. Tsunade didn't know why, but she had full faith that he would do this, that he would win. She might not know his plans, and she was still worried about them, but she had faith that he would do the right thing here and bring Mito back unharmed. Yes, she knew that he would, just by his words alone. As they left, meanwhile, Obito had just arrived back towards Madara, who did not even bother asking what he was doing. However, Obito had a backup plan. Madara was ruining things, and with him back and more powerful than ever, Obito was no longer in charge. So he had someone plotting that was none other than Kabuto Yakushi, who had been missing for most of the things that were taking place. After all, he was busy getting stronger and preparing himself, and he was now ready, as he was able to fix the Edo Tensei and make it better than before, far greater than before. And when the time is right, he will strike, and he will make those that saw him as incompetent, especially those damn Uchihas, bow. Madara was surprised when Naruto and Sasuke pulled up out of the portal, as he gave them 3 days, but it seems like they want to dance right now. Naruto told Sasuke to go after Obito. They'd already spoken about this, as Sasuke quickly went after him as they start to fight. Upon the way, Sasuke had summoned a creature, a reptilian, that could cloak itself, as Obito was almost hit by it. However, inside of his domain, Mito had woken up, and she had also woken up the others. At first, they almost got into a squabble as they thought that she was the enemy, but she talked to them and told them who she was. After making contact with the Ninetales, she was able to see her parents. As she talked to them, she was even more determined than ever. The masked man did not know that they were awake, so this was a perfect opportunity. Obito was caught off guard as he was stabbed. Shock written all over his face, his chest was clawed in by the two-tailed Jinchuriki as he realized that they were awake inside of his domain. The fight now became more problematic for him. Sasuke on the outside was more than brutal and, well, on the inside he was being ripped apart. He could not escape. While that was going on, the two heavy hitters were duking it out. Madara was having the time of his life. He was alive. His blood was pumping. Chakra was flaring. As both of them clashed violently, Madara using every ability at his disposal and Naruto using every at his disposal as well. They shook the ground, they created cannons, they reshaped landforms. The fight was monstrous and explosive. The both of them were beyond powerful as they shook the surrounding area. As Naruto uses blue flames to swallow everything, tearing away Madara's chakra and every jutsu that he used. The Uchiha did not give up though. That was not in his nature, as he decided to bring it out, to show Naruto, to make him witness the full might of the power of the Sharingan. The 6-eye user was good, but he was Madara Uchiha and he was better. As Naruto looked up towards a monstrosity that blocked out any sort of light to come down on him, it was at that moment he felt it. Madara battling him, Madara pushing him. It gave Naruto what he needed. The foresight to see it all. Yes, he was able to see it all, witness and feel it all. As Naruto's last totem appeared, there was a pulsating force that came from his body that spread through the entire universe. Power that should not be held by one man. Godly power, awakened inside of him by the 6th totem awakening. It was now perfect, 12 in total. He stood as the blade of Suno came down towards him, but he did not move. The blade could not hit him. Naruto then said the one word that shook everything into silence. Domain expansion. Endless void. Madara, mind was unable to comprehend anything. His brain, his status, everything about him was fried. He saw the end of life, he saw the beginning. He saw the future, he saw the past. His mind could not understand or experience or fully capitalize on the overwhelming amount of information. As he collapsed on the ground, he was done. Naruto stood over him, bending chakra to his will like it was nothing. A blade appeared in his hand as he plunged it in to the Uchiha's chest, marking his end. Madara Uchiha was dead and gone. As Naruto took him away, not leaving his corpse there. Arriving, Obito bumped right into Naruto as he was running for his life. Things were bad for him right now. His right arm was missing. He was badly burned and scarred. His mask was gone. He tried to punch Naruto, but the infinity between him could not allow him to hit him. Obito was screwed. Sasuke arrived as Obito tried to escape, but Naruto ripped him apart. He literally bent Obito into nothingness, crushing him down, and he disappeared. The abilities that he had at his disposal now was just shocking. As Naruto ripped a space in front of them, Sasuke was shocked by the amount of power he felt and could see with his Rinnegan. It seemed to be endless. But they were not done just yet. So with that, they proceed to make their way to go find the other tail beasts and get this over with. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across to play of yourself. So as we begin this new episode, we begin this episode at Konoha. Tsunade Senju was not sure how to feel about this letter that she found waiting for her on her decks. Very soon she will be attending the Kage meeting, and she just received a letter. It was from Mito, telling her that everything was alright, she was alive, and she will be back soon. She had no idea what was going on, or why Mito did not return immediately. After all, Naruto could create wormholes and appear anywhere, judging by the fact that he appeared in her office. So why wasn't he here? Why had Mito returned instantly? There was so much, and she had the meeting to worry about. She had already selected her 2 guards. preparing everything for her absence. However, she had a thought in her mind. She believed that Naruto will show up at this meeting. She believed that he would finally tell everyone what the hell he was up to and what the hell he's doing. Even to now, she did not know what he was up to. Conan had assured them that the Akatsuki had not gathered a single tail beast, yet majority of them had gone missing, and she was sure that he was the one behind it. So they will finally get his motives and what he was up to. Everything that he has done so far, he has not go out of his way to harm Konoha. There was only one man that he decided to end, and that was Danzo Shimura. And Snazzy herself knew that Danzo was a threat. However, she could not just go and kill him. The man was a crafty bastard who hid a lot. But now he was gone, things were a lot better. There was no risk to her position as Hokage. But still she was worried, as she wanted to know what Naruto was planning, what he was up to. Meanwhile, that was going on at an unknown location. The air itself was thick with power. This was definitely not the elemental nation, nowhere even close. The God tree, the tree of life, the tree of the universe, the tree of essence, stood tall. Trillions of branches going out in all different directions. However, the moment Naruto awoke in the sixth eye, the tree was aware of it. The moment he did, a lot was revealed to Naruto. The reason why these eyes are so special. The reason why Ichigo had warned him. It was all there for him to witness. At the moment, there was a cocoon. A cocoon that was never there before at the base of the God tree. Hundreds of branches were funneling into it, creating and forming something, preparing for something. Meanwhile, back on Earth, I'm telling you, something is wrong. Don't you see it as well? Mito asked as she was looking at her longtime best friend Sasuke Uchiha. And despite what has happened, that has not changed. Sasuke was quiet, as he would not give her a response. Sasuke, she said, causing him to look up at her. Fine, I see it as well. But maybe it's just because of the last totem in his eyes. Maybe that's what's bringing on the changes. No, it's not. It's not about power. It's almost like he's giving up. It makes no sense. Do you hear what you're saying? We finally have all that we wanted. And now you understand. We're going to make a big drop-in. To show them all, to make them all understand. To fix this world once and for all. How could he give up? Why? At this time, why would he ever give up? It makes no sense. I don't know. Sasuke did not like her response to his question, because she was bringing up things that anger him, because he could not decipher it either. And she was right. Ever since Naruto awakened that last totem, he was different. There was a way that he usually conduct business, but now it seems like he was preparing for something. Almost like he was barely going on, and that confused Sasuke. As for Mito, she had woken up a few days ago, and that was an experience that she would never forget. Flashback. Mito stirred as she finally came to. The last thing she remembered was that guy that put them in a dimension. Every time he reappeared, they would attack his body from the inside. And then it just stopped. A good 10 minutes straight. And then all of a sudden, a wormhole ripped open. Before any of them could do anything, everything went black. And now she was here. Kurama, she said. I'm here, kid. Kurama said, speaking up to her. Where are we? You might want to ask him. Kurama said, causing her to gaze over. And she saw him. Mito jumped up as she realized that she was in a bed. A soft, comfy bed. She wasn't sure where she was at the moment. However, on a chair leaning back, gazing through the window was none other than Naruto. His face was set in a calm, relaxed state. Almost too relaxed. "Naruto," she said. As he turned towards her, there was a smile on his face. There was nothing covering his eyes. She saw it. The sixth totem was in each of his eyes. It seems like they reached 100%. What's going on? As Naruto got out of the chair, his eyes looking into hers, something was wrong. "Are you..." "I'm sorry," he said. She was confused by that. "You're sorry?" "Yes, for everything. For everything that I did. For turning my back on you. It had to be done, but the way I did it. I needed to do it. And I'm sorry for what I put you through. I never realized at the time how much you were suffering after the two of us left. We became a big part in each other's life. We sustained from one another. The best of friends. Maybe even something deeper. And we just went away. And I'm sorry for that," he said to her. There was a moment of silence before her right fist lashed out and punched him across the face, knocking him right off the bed. For a moment there, it was almost like he was floating before he collapsed. "Jackass," she said, tears in her eyes. "I was wondering when you would come to your senses and stop all this nonsense." She grabbed him by the shirt and pulled him to his feet. "And now you're saying sorry? For all the crap that you put me through," she said, her fist clenched in anger. "You left. You were everything, and you left me. You did not give me a reason. You brought up that bullshit which I know was fake, because I knew you, and yet you still left me. Do you know how much I had to deal with over the past couple of years? Especially after losing my sensei. I wanted you there. Out of everyone else, I wanted you there. But you were not. And now you're saying sorry?" The tears leaked freely from her eyes. "Is that all you really have to say? You bastard," she yelled at him once again. However, all he did was wrap his arms around her. She fought it at first, as she still wanted to be angry at him. It was her time to be angry now. Upset. However, she ended up melting into his arms as he held on to her, making her cry, out the frustration, out the anger. She cried it all out. She truly missed him. Sasuke was her best friend, but Naruto was something different. From day one, she knew that, but she never understood her feelings back then. She was a child. But after going on that training trip, it was then she started to realize them. She finally pulled back, her tears still glistening down her face, as his hand came up and wiped them away. She looked away from him. "I know, there is still a lot, but I can't let this chance pass me by again. I have to this time. I wanted to tell you when you first came to Konoha, and you were in the cell. Over the years, I got to understand how I truly felt. And I want to tell you, Naruto, I love you," she said to him. This time she turned and looked directly into his eyes. His eyes that were filled with such care and warmth, all directly towards her. However, it was then that she saw it. Sadness. Utter pure sadness. But then it vanished. She was about to say something until he placed both hands on her cheeks. "I love you too," he said to her. That surprised her. She never expected him to say it back right away. I tried to deny it for as long as I could. I tried to step away from it because I knew I had to do what I had to do. And you were my only weakness. There's nothing else on this planet that can hurt me more than my feelings for you. And I do love you," said Naruto. As he pulled her forward, their lips met. It was like explosions went off. A feeling of utter bliss A feeling of true understanding. As they released their love, their pain, their sadness in that kiss. Everything all at once. When they finally broke apart, they just gazed into one another's eyes. And understanding that the both of them knew. They didn't want to stop. The feeling was overwhelming. As their hands started to roam over each other. Taking it slow and steady. The both of them never done something like this before, but they knew in that exact moment that this was right. They understood that. It was a feeling that they could not describe, but they understood. As they gazed at each other. Pure love and affection for one another. End of flashback. That was the single greatest time in her entire life. There was just something magical about it. And it was with Naruto. Pure happiness. However, after that, he told her what he had in store. He also told her about Itachi as well. She was shocked. He told her that she could not tell anyone. The clans of Konoha would become rebellious to know that the Hokage assigned an elimination of a clan. What would stop the Hokage from doing that again if another clan raised trouble in the future? She understood, after talking to her father, understanding his reasons. She understood what it meant to be a Hokage, something that she wanted from day one. However, what Naruto wanted to do would cause mayhem. But there will be no killing, only understanding. She was sure that the Kages would listen. Bachan would definitely listen. And the others, she was sure. She was friends with Gaara. And Sakura was even closer to him. Yes, that was a fact. Since the day that Sakura had been there to check upon him to make sure that he was okay after the extraction of the tail beast. She and Gaara spent a lot of time talking together as friends. She has been on missions and liaison between the Sand and Konoha. Mito did not know if something was happening there, but it sure looked that way. She was happy for them. However, every time when Naruto talked to her, it was like she understood everything going on in his heart. However, the look on his face, he seemed happy and calm, but she felt it. Pure sadness. And she knew that something was wrong. It was almost like he felt something. Something that scared him. But he would not tell them. That is why she was talking to Sasuke. Sasuke did not want to acknowledge it, but he also saw it. Naruto was a powerful person. Even with his Rinnegan. Even with all the power in his body, he knew that he did not match up in any way close. But not just physically, mentally as well. His drive, his determination. Naruto had it all. Sasuke was always behind and he knew that. But never did Naruto look down upon him. Never did he say anything about it, despite him being blessed with eyes that were beyond anything the Sharingan, the Byakugan, or any other dojutsu could ever imagine. He always stood tall at his side. Proud of him. He might not acknowledge it much, but Naruto was his older brother, just by minutes, but still. He was the greatest big brother someone could ask for. But yet, recently he's been acting strange. Like something was wrong with him. Sasuke had tried to ignore it, believing that he was just overwhelmed with the power that he was wielding at the moment. But that was not it. He said that he had some business to take care of, some nuisance. And he had left, saying that he will be back, as he was the one to handle this. That is what he told them. Sasuke glanced up. "You're right. What do we do?" he asks. "We try. No, we make him tell us." From day one, he has always been stubborn, always keeping problems to himself, in a way to protect us. It's time that we start to protect him as well. As Sasuke nodded. Time skip. As Naruto calmly walked, his face was devoid of all emotions. He simply walked. As he arrived toward a stone platform, it was massive. Looking towards it, Naruto, body molecules started to shift, allowing him to phase right through the rock, like it was not even there. An ability like intangibility. However, it was not a set ability like Obito's, but he could phase through things as well. After awakening his eyes, Naruto was able to see and feel things that he could never see and feel before. His love for Mito was far greater than before. He has been neglecting it. However, what he did was truly horrible. He was a monster. That is what he told himself. And he was weak. He allowed himself to break down and kiss her. He shouldn't have done that. He allowed himself to break down and made love with her. He shouldn't have done that. Because soon enough, he won't be here. Soon enough, he will die. Well, if you could call it that, he thought to himself. He just hoped that she will be able to move on. As he cursed himself for being so weak, to deny himself the pleasure of being with her, something that he always wanted. However, upon awakening these eyes, he was able to see the truth, and his death was certain. But he will do all he could to protect the ones he loved, hoping that they can move on without him. Before that though, he had to get rid of the skirmish that remains on the elemental nation. As Naruto appeared inside a room. "How did you find me?" the voice asks. The person was rather surprised, not expecting this turn of events. The masked Uchiha is dead. Madara Uchiha is dead. But I suppose you already know about that. I'm not here to do much talking except to end your life. Chuckling could be heard. My oh my. The great powerful Naruto Uchiha, always acting like he's better than everyone else, above it all, like he's untouchable. Well, you know what? You can go and screw yourself. A pissed off Kabuto said as he stepped into the light. You always act like people are inferior to you. But today I will show you what inferior is. You treated me like I was less than garbage, like I was unimportant. You killed Lord Orochimaru and yet I was like nothing. I knew that you could have found me, but you saw me as less than nothing, like I was no threat. But look at me now. Kabuto tear off his robes. There was silence in the cave. Am I supposed to be impressed? Said Naruto. Impress? Let me show you what's impressive. Edo Tensei. Kabuto slammed his hand down. 4 coffins rise out of the earth. 4 powerful men. One was the third Raikage, father of A. The second one was Genjutsu Hojiki, second Mizukage. The third one was Miu, second Tishikage. And the final one was Raza, fourth Kazekage. The 4 Kages stood there, their eyes devoid of emotions. Now was not the time for emotions. As Kabuto shut them off, he had perfected the Edo Tensei, and now it's the time that he kill Naruto Uchiha once and for all. You said no talking, so let's begin. They move forward at blinding speed, arriving on Naruto right and left, already having their hands out for abilities to turn him into dust. It's over, Kabuto thought. As they all launched their attack, the cave shook and broke. Cataclysmic blast that tore apart everything. The 4-man jumped away from the smoke. There was no way possible that he could have survived that. As the 4-man stood there, Kabuto saw light raining down as a cave had broken in several places. However, as the smoke cleared, voices started to be heard. You know, Kabuto's eyes widened. These jutsus and abilities. I'm not saying that they're not special, but if you could see what I could see, you would understand the futility of them. Bringing back someone's soul from the afterlife, sealing it in a regenerative body, is nothing more than an advanced seal. And all seals can be broken. To a normal seal master, it will be quite the work because of their movement. But you see, Kabuto, I am not normal in any sense of the word. You can't understand because you don't see it as I see it. Let me show you. A demonstration would be better for you to understand. Kabuto felt his control over Miu vanish. What just happened, he thought. The smoke moved again. He felt his control over the Raikage vanish. Once again there was a breeze through the smoke. The other two vanished as well. Once the place was clear, Kabuto saw ashes on the ground. How did you... As I said Naruto stepping forward. Once you understand the base of chakra, once you understand how it connects everything, unraveling is so simple. But you, my friend, will never be able to witness something like this. Don't call me your friend. I am nothing as such, Kabuto said as he was losing his cool. He had no idea how he was able to dismantle all of them so quickly. It literally made no sense at all. Yes, you're right. We're not friends. I never saw you more than Orochimaru's lackey. That was all you were to me. Kabuto moved forward as he created a jutsu that summoned a strange white dragon. Shields came over his eyes. The dragon curled upon itself before releasing a bright light that swallowed everything. Kabuto saw Naruto in the light as he could see. He shot forward to end Naruto once and for all. He could not see, but he could, as Kabuto was about to tear him in half. However, as his right hand lashed out, the nails on his hand, infused with chakra, to rip through the densest of flesh. Something happened. His attack. Stop. What's going on? Kabuto tried to push forward as the light disappeared faster than expected. He looked up to see Naruto looking at him. Why can't I hit you? Well, it's a bit complicated, but let me try to simplify it for you. Your hand has not stopped. However, without my say-so, you cannot touch me. The closer you get, the slower you go. It's the infinity that cover my entire body. Now do you understand how hopeless you are, said Naruto as he reached out and placed his hand against Kabuto's hand. The snake dragon was about to jump back until Naruto grabbed his hand. Kabuto was now going to lash out. Something started to form in his stomach, but before he could even form it properly, Naruto's fist was embedded in his guts. Blood spewed from his mouth. As Naruto held his hand out in Kabuto's stomach, 2 fingers outwards. An unseen force racked his insides. Kabuto's entire body shook as he felt tremors going through him. His eye socket jolted. His brain shook in his head. Blood poured from his nose and mouth. His ears started to bleed. Understanding, trying to wrap his head around what he just felt, was so unraveling because his mind was spinning. The next thing he knew, he was in the wall, his body being crushed into it. As Naruto stood in front of him, Kabuto's body extended upwards, trying to get away. As he leaped over towards the other side, he started to pant before he collapsed to one knee as he coughed out blood. He couldn't understand. He just hit him once. How could one punch? What the hell was that? You see, Kabuto, all things are connected. Through one vital point in your body, I could feel the entire structure that make you up. I simply applied pressure to that vital point in your body, and it simply repelled the force to all over. I suppose you're having trouble hearing and seeing right now. It affects your eyes and hearing mostly. Your brain was jostled in the attack. Kabuto tried to pick himself up, but he fell over once again. He cursed as he slowly regenerated on the inside. He looked up towards Naruto, blood leaking from inside of his lips as he spat, hate in his eyes, pure unbridled hate, as he snarled in anger, fully picking himself up. Inorganic matter manipulation. He slammed his hand down towards the ground. As the ground started to twist and writhe before, it came up as jagged spikes, all of them going towards Naruto, as they were rushing to end his life. Until Naruto held his hand up, 5 blue balls appear on his left and 5 red balls on his right. With nothing but a single gesture of his finger, they all shot forward. They did not destroy, instead they erase. They completely erased the earth, erasing it into nothingness. Kabuto had to leap away as they tore through where he stood. However, the moment he landed, he bounced into something, as he felt something, but yet the contact was not Naruto. Kabuto turned as he lashed out with a powerful kick. However, this time Naruto simply caught his leg and lifted him off the ground, before slamming him face first, with no effort at all. Kabuto felt the force as the ground cracked underneath him. Naruto then picked him up and kicked him. He was sent right through the wall and into a cavern, blasting through it and fell down. Kabuto picked himself up. He was frustrated, but he didn't want to run. His pride would not let him. He worked so hard. He trained so hard to get this strength, and yet he was being picked apart. That is when Kabuto felt it. The ground and the wall was torn, as a strange blue orb appeared in the center as Kabuto was yanked towards it. Every piece of debris and stones were slammed into his body, with compressing force pushing against his organs. As blood escaped the dragon's mouth, Kabuto felt pain as his body was being squashed. That is when a red orb appeared, and it exploded outwards. Kabuto was blasted like some kind of piece of rubbish, as he slammed across the ground 10 times before coming to a stop. The left side of his face had been torn off. He was bleeding badly. His right arm was in bad condition, twisted and bent, because of the numerous amount of pressure on his arm. He slowly started to heal. His pride was big, however he realized facing Naruto was a death sentence, and the cowardness from the past started to return. The reality that he would die set in as he ran. He started to slither away as he turned his bottom half into a snake, moving away at impressive speeds. He glanced behind him to see nothing. He then turned back only for 2 fingers to poke him right in the forehead. Kabuto blinked in utter shock, not expecting this in the slightest. No words left his lips. He was just shocked, as Naruto simply appeared in front of him, like he teleported right there. Naruto was able to bend space and time better than before. Now he could literally erase the distance between him and something, making him just pop into existence. It was not him running, but erasing the distance between the object and himself. It was almost like he pulled. However, he arrived in a blink of an eye, as Kabuto backed away in utter fear, realizing that he cannot escape. I see. The Kabuto from the past is finally rearing his head up. Kabuto snarled at that. Immediately, Teiwaya came from his stomach. He had fused her DNA inside of himself. As she brought out her flute, a sound started to generate from it. A sound that would have normally brought anyone down to their knees. The effects would have made them lightheaded. Kabuto used that opportunity to leap away, as Orochimaru's head came out of his stomach. Orochimaru's mouth then opened as thousands of snakes jetted outwards, rushing towards Naruto, who was still standing there. Kabuto did not look behind him this time. Instead, he moved at blinding speeds, getting away. That is when he felt the air behind him twisting and turning, as Kabuto turned to see something, a purple ball of energy, as Naruto was forming it with his hands. The snakes, everything was being erased. As the attack was launched, Kabuto quickly slammed his hand down. The attack was too big. Rashomon Gates, he summoned them. having faith that they would boom. They were gone. The eyes of Kabuto widened to proportional degrees, unable to understand how could they just be. He was hit by the technique. A scream left his throat as his body was torn and twisted. It was disintegrated into nothingness, completely erasing the Dragon Sage. He was gone, leaving nothing behind. He was just erased. Naruto walked over to where Kabuto's body once stood, as there was a massive crater now in the area. His face expression did not change, not even once, as he started to walk calmly, before he felt something, a power, forming. He turned and started to walk towards it. Out of thin air, something materialized in front of him, until it started to form a person. It was linked to his chakra. The person was trying to gain access by using him. Naruto knew who it was, so he allowed it. It revealed none other than Ichigo. However, this one was not a mere remnant. This one was a true embodiment, the spirit that had used Naruto to get back here to the human plane. Because of their eyes. He looked at Naruto. I can tell that you are the original. Still dead, of course, but do you know my conversation with your other path? Yes, Ichigo said. The moment you allow me to take place and form out of your chakra, all of it came into my mind at once. His essence and mine has fused with mine as well. Well, that's good, said Naruto. So I won't have to explain things. I'm sorry I failed you, Ichigo said. You're apologizing. Thought you would be angry. Why should I be? You're the one that's going to die, Ichigo said. As Naruto chuckled at that. What's so funny? You don't want to die. So why do you laugh? Well, it's just ironic. I finally achieved what I want, and now, well, I'm going to die as you say. But this is no joking matter, I'm sure that you felt it as well. The reason why I stopped my descendants from using this eye, there are more than one reasons. One, I do not believe any man should have this power. You see, Naruto, nature is a tricky thing. The universe, life as itself, there should always be balance. The tree of God, the tree of life, it is the source of all chakra, all essence, but it does not fully control the world. There's a large part of it. Balance must always be there. That is why we were created. People like us who possess these eyes. A complete balance. A strength that could rival the strength that seemed unrivalable. That tree is what we call a higher form of being. Power that we humans can't even manage to understand. While I am only half human, even I know that. It was a death sentence. I did not know the specifics, but I felt it. The moment your eyes reach the fifth totem, you must have felt it as well. But you carried on. Because you had something to do, something to achieve. As Naruto looked at him, and now that you have achieved that, you've gained the ultimate eye, just like mine. Unlike you though, I did not cower away, said Naruto. Yes, you did not. You stand firm in your beliefs. That is why it has now fully noticed you. I suppressed my own power, even though I knew, in terms of strength, none of my brothers or even my mother come close. If I ought to fully utilize my eyes, and given to the power that I was bestowed upon with. However, I knew, and I failed to stop you from what you did. Naruto sat down as he sighed. Unlike you, I went deeper, further. You knew that the threat was big, however, I noticed that these Osutskis, their whole being, their whole existence is all a lie. Ichigo looked at him strangely. What are you talking about? You noticed that the Osutskis were linked with the Tree of Life. When an Osutsuki reach a certain level, they evolve into something beyond, something spiritual, if one might say, a being that transcends their own body. However, it's all a lie. What do you mean by that? As I said, I went deeper. You stopped your searching because you felt the threat of the Osutskis, and you did not want our planet on the chopping block. Maybe back then you could have defeated them, but what if years pass? What would the race do then? You would be gone. You did not know if there will be any stronger beings with the same power and intellect that you possess to fight them off. At the time, you did not know that the six eyes would be a recurring thing. Yes, exactly. However, you went somewhere deeper than I did. Yes, I did. They're not just connected. They're puppets. They are? Yes. As you said before, the Tree of Life, it has to have a balance. It think of itself as a primordial being, someone that is above everything else. So it decided to create a balance. Warriors that would go around and suck planets dry, one after another, to gain powers that would transcend them to a different level of living. However, the moment they are transcended to that level, the tree reabsorbs them. So, all this time, yes, they're nothing but puppets, machines that are being used. They can create life, however, they were created by chakra. That is why they're so powerful. That is why they eat chakra. They are chakra themselves. In their mind, they were created in ways that I'm not sure what they think they are. But it's all a lie. Even now I can sense them out there. Even the ones that don't fight. Some of them are coming here. In my fight with Madara, the pulse that was released when my eye activates, it went all out and they sense it. They will be here soon. And I'll kill them, said Naruto. Ichigo said nothing. But once I do end their existence, that thing will retaliate. It sees me as a threat that cannot be allowed to exist. And I'm not strong enough to stop it. It's gonna take them all and use them. These two that are coming now are going to be a test for me to see how strong I am. But if I don't stop them, the earth will be destroyed. So you're stuck in an unbreakable situation where you have to choose the protection of your loved ones or the protection of yourself. Exactly, said Naruto. But I've already set things in motion. Once I'm gone, Sasuke and Mito will lead things. The world will never go back to what it was before. Someone like Itachi will never be forced to do something like that again. Be forced to sacrifice that much. Naruto said with a calm smile on his face, as he seemingly accepted his fate. I wish there was something I could do, Ichigo said. You and I both, said Naruto. But that thing that is coming for me, I'm the only one that can fight it. If the others intervene, it will retaliate. And they stand no chance. I'm the only one that can take it on. When I lose, I will be the only one it takes, because I am a threat to its existence. You should tell them, Ichigo said. At least give them a peace of mind. You don't know them like I do. Sasuke will not hesitate to sacrifice himself for me and fight by my side. Mito either. I was weak. I was unable to stop my love for her. And now, I will never get to be with her, said Naruto. And if they find out about this, they will fight for me. And that thing, their abilities, their chakra, it's all linked. But mine is not. They will die. And I will not allow that to happen. So I'll have to lie and keep them out of the loop. I was hoping I could place this somewhere, said Naruto as he pulled out a note. However, can you do me a favor? I'll leave behind some of my chakra so that you can interact with them. Sure, Ichigo said, as Naruto had a note in his hand that he wanted to give them once he was gone. Time skip. Naruto arrived back to the location that they were staying at. Sasuke was there to greet him. You seem upset, said Naruto. What's going on with you, Sasuke said. He did not hesitate in the slightest. What are you talking about, said Naruto. I tried to deny it, but even now I can see it in your eyes. You tried to hide it well, but I know you too well. So tell me what the hell is going on. I don't stop it, Sasuke said, raising his tone. Ever since we were younger, you always put me first. You put everyone that you care about first, instead of yourself. I know that something is wrong. I know it. So tell me what is going on. I want to help. I don't care what it is. Naruto stepped forward and placed a hand on both of his shoulders. You know that me and Mito are... Yes, Sasuke said. As he already knew that. And that I've awakened these eyes to their fullest. Yeah, Sasuke said. It's a bit overwhelming, said Naruto. Look, we finally reached where we wanted to reach. And it's just... I guess I feel like something bad is about to happen. But there's nothing bad that can stop us. Once you fully take on the Jubi and gain its... Wait, what? Sasuke said, cutting Naruto off. What do you mean, once I told you that you will take the Jubi. Yes, that I will take half of its power. And we would give some of its power to our friends, so they can help us establish order. You left the Nine Tails with Mito because of that, so her power would not be diminished. What are you talking about, Sasuke said. Why won't you take part in this? Come on, Sasuke, it's nothing. I didn't want to boast or anything, but I'm kind of far above you now. I always wanted to keep everyone included, but in terms of raw power, it doesn't matter if you have the Jubi. I'm still stronger. Sasuke sent him a glare at hearing that. See what I mean? So that's what you're hiding, you asshole, Sasuke said. Yeah, pretty much. Sasuke punched him in the shoulder. And you got all of us worried. You could have talked to me, you know that, right? Said Naruto. It was Mito. She figured that something was wrong. And I knew that you were acting strange. What can I say? It's just been a lot, said Naruto. We're so close to finally getting what we wanted. Nothing will stop us now. As Naruto looked into Sasuke's eyes, a smile on his face. You're my brother, Sasuke. We've started this. Now, let's end it. Sasuke nodded his head. Moments later, Naruto opened the door and stepped inside the same room where he had his first time with the girl that his heart belonged to. As Mito turned to face him. You're here, she said, as she got up and moved towards him and hugged him. Naruto hugged her back. Did you talk to Sasuke? She asked, looking up at him. Yeah. And what's this thing you guys are talking about? You're acting strange. And Sasuke saw it as well. I know that something is wrong. So please, tell me. What is it? She asked. Naruto sighed. Alright, fine, he said. You want to know what's wrong? Nothing. What? She said. Yeah, nothing is wrong. I mean, I'm just a bit overwhelmed. I have you. I have everything I ever wanted. And it's a lot. You say that and yet, you're crying, she said to him. As Naruto reached up and touched his face. Huh, I didn't notice. I'm just happy, he said. Really? Are you telling the truth, she said. You told me, when I woke up, that you would never lie to me ever again. Are you telling me the truth, she asked. Naruto was quiet for a few seconds. I told you, I would never lie to you. And I keep my promises, he said. She smiled at that, taking his words as a yes, despite the fact that he did not clarify what he meant, or said the word yes, or said that he was not lying. She hugged him, and pulled him into a deep staring kiss, feeling his composure broken once again. However, this time, he was able to control himself in the end before he went too far. Doing this would only bring her pain in the future. He was being selfish by allowing her to think that everything was going to be okay. However, it was him, and he always liked to do these kind of things. Hey, I want to show you something, said Naruto. Yeah? What is it? Just come on, he said. As the space beside him ripped open, as he led her inside. Time skip. The both of them were in mid-air. Wow, said Mito. It was nighttime. The moon seemed so large, the stars, as they floated in mid-air as Naruto held on to her, its arm wrapped around her waist. Everything appears just so wonderful, she said. She felt so free, it was amazing. And she had no doubt because she knew he would never drop her. She smiled and took in everything with a happy smile on her face. Eventually they went back down as they sat and talked for the whole night. She eventually fell asleep. There was no intercourse between either of them. This made Naruto happy and sad at the same time, as he breathed out a breath. Time skip. The day was finally here. All of them were gathered. Tsunade arrived, followed by Sakura and Kakashi. She had to leave some heavy hitters back home, such as Might Guy and several others. Sakura was her student, who she had trained personally. She could think of no other to watch her back. The girl had become very special to her, similar like how she felt about Mito as well. But she and Mito had a deeper bond. Arriving there, the Kazekage Gaara was already there. She spoke to him and she also met, for the first time, the Mizukage. Her name was Mei Terumi. The Tishikage arrived as well, with his two guards. He was not a big fan of Konoha in the slightest, and that shows, given the look on his face when he looked at her. He did not look pissed, but he definitely did not seem happy. But she was not happy either to be here. But there were things that they had to discuss. Mifune, the leader of Iron Country, was here. This was a neutral space. No conflicts, no wars happened here. As they all took their seats, everything was ready and prepared. As all of them placed their hat down in front of them, all the guards jumped up towards the other section. Standing up there, Mifune cleared his throat. Let the meeting of the 5 Kages begins now, he said. Raikage-dano, seeing that you were the one to call this meeting, shall you start this off? The Raikage cleared his throat. I suppose you all know why you're here. This is about the Akatsuki, but not only that, a greater threat. Madara Uchiha. What? The Tishikage said. That name brought back some terrible memories of the past. The name alone was enough to strike fear in the hearts of many people. I saw him with my own eyes. You did? He must be ancient. The Mizukage spoke up. After all these years. That is where things are strange. He is youthful as ever, and powerful as ever. He kidnapped my 2 Jinchurikis. I have heard rumors and talk that all of your Jinchurikis has been taken. I am not certain if all of these are true, But this is not a time to hide any facts. We have a dangerous threat roaming the elemental nation. So what say you? Gaara spoke up. The One Tails was taken from me. The Mizukage spoke up next. The 3 and 6 Tails were taken as well. The Teshikage frowned, but he spoke up, realizing the threat. The 4 and 5 Tails was taken as well. The Raikage turned towards Ned before she could speak. I presume that you know more than anyone else here, Hokage Dano, he said. Given the fact that I saw one of the Uchihas that were formerly a part of Konoha with Madara. What? So they joined forces? Mei said, as she could only imagine the wrath of one Uchiha, more or less, 2 others. Tsunade cleared her throat. Before she could say anything though, that's not entirely truthful. As the space in front of the table ripped open, immediately samurais went on alert. Guards jumped down as Naruto stepped out of his portal. The moment the Raikage saw him, his rage skyrocketed as he shot towards Naruto. Meanwhile that was going on, the Tree of Life was still forming whatever it was forming in the cocoon. Meanwhile, on a distant planet, members of the clan known as the Otsutsuki, as Naruto had said, some of them were created by the tree, the ones in the beginning. Yes, they were formed by the tree itself, placed there for a purpose. However, like many other races, not all of them were as powerful. Some of them were born from 2 Otsutsukis coming together. Whatever the tree did, it implanted memories. It implanted backgrounds into their heads, making them believe that they were born from 2 other Otsutsukis, naturally. It was a way of many planets, how people were born. Despite their growth from the tree, they still had functional private parts. So the ladies could have children, and the man could help in doing that. Same for Kaguya coming to Earth and having children with a human. However, she and many of the others, they were not born naturally. They were created by the tree. It was all a ruse. Shibai Otsutsuki, a Otsutsuki that was said to become a god, did not do no such thing. He did not transcend his body. The moment he became too powerful, the tree simply took back that power. It was a cycle. They thought they were going to become an Otsutsuki god, but that was all fake. There was one Otsutsuki that was stronger than the rest, dubbed himself the king of this planet. Majority of the Otsutsukis, Momoshiki and the others, they were sent out to gather fruit. Fruit so that he could evolve to the other level. Each of the powerful members were given a fruit, so they could ascend. And the weaker ones, they were fed to the Jubi. Yes, that is how it has been for generations now. However, now, as the planet rested calmly, colossal vines start to rip out of the earth, tearing the planet up. The king got off his throne, as he was basically royalty. He looked out towards the chaos that was taking place, confusion on his face. A giant root was coming towards him. He raised his hand. Flames shot from his palm like a geyser, burning the thing. But to his shock, it flew right through it. His speed was amazing, but not even he could escape as he was torn. Something ripped right through his chest, shocking him. He was stronger than all the current Otsutsukis, so for him to be this easily, he could not even scream as his body was sucked into the root. His power, everything. The whole planet was being sucked and sucked by the root that appeared out of nowhere in space. It wrapped around their planet like a virus. All of that power was pulled back towards the god tree that funneled inside of the cocoon that it was creating, as it was creating something vast and powerful, something that was tapped into life essence itself, something that would be the death of one Naruto Uchiha. His first test was going to Earth. Yes, that was Momoshiki. Kinshiki. Yurishiki was currently making his way towards the planet as well to see the battle, until he was grabbed in space, sucked away. Momoshiki and Kinshiki was not the wiser of what was going on. They simply headed towards Earth. Their whole programming, which they thought was free thinking, free will, was nothing but a fake. They were being used like puppets. In a different dimension, Ishiki, Osusuke, used in the body of Jigen, a monk from the past, was attacked. Him and his acolytes that were there, his acolytes tried to stand in the way. They were slaughtered, like they were nothing. Ishiki was ripped out of the monk's body, the monk collapsing down to the ground. Kaguya had betrayed Ishiki in the past, because she was the one that was going to be fed to the tree. So she cut him down, but he survived and went into a monk's body, and since then he has been living inside of it. After all, Osusuke's coming pairs. The monk looked up. For the longest time he felt control over his body. He never thought that this would ever happen again. Because of Ishiki being inside of him, he has been kept alive for the longest time now. He watched as a tree swallow the entire dimension, devouring everything. The roots, sucking everything dry. He barely had a few seconds of life before he was devoured. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want something smart to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off for now, see you guys soon. Peace.